there has been a lot of debates in the international press, at least, about what exactly are the realities in China. Before I go to Dr. Wang, I want to have your views because your observation is independent from the Chinese system. Accusations about China having, the prisoners forced to donate their organs related to human rights issues, this and that. What exactly are the realities?
Well, we have been hearing for our professional life that was the traditional practice in China to get organs, for many years. But our intervention in China starts in 2009, attending the meetings, start to see how worried they are in changing for the new system. And since then, we have been the evolution. How was the situation in 2009? Traditional donors, as you said, was the source of organs. Until today, that the situation, as you mentioned, have been changed completely since 2015.
Okay, well, Dr. Wang, from China's perspective, what the realities are?
The reality is China stopped using the prisoner organ as of January 1st, 2015. So that's the start of new system. And now, since then, we have the jump start of the organ donation based on the voluntary, community-based deceased donors. So now in 2015, we have more than 2,766 donors. In this year, we have 50% jump, and we already have approaching 3,000 as of last month. So we're expecting around 4,000 donors in this year. We are approaching the second place in the world.
Where did you get your number?
Oh, that's based on our national organ allocation system, the China Organ Transplant Response System we developed during last several years.
All right, the new page both of you mentioned, which is to refuse the forced donation or the illegal process of donating from the prisoners. That starts from the first day of last year, 2015. The question is, what about the enforcement? How would you know, Dr. Wang? Have you and your colleagues go into localities, look at exactly what's going on there?
Well, first, the WHO requires the traceability of each organs, which means we must establish a national system to track where organ came from and where organ goes. So that is our national organ allocation computer system, which is to fulfill this requirement from WHO.
So you know exactly where it comes from?
Yes.
And from whom?
Yes.
Under what circumstances?
Yes, at individual level.
Is that also your observation? Professor
Yes,
Mali?
because you was very lucky that last summer in August, an international delegation from the WHO, from the Transplantation Society, and from the Istanbul Declaration, we visit several hospitals in China. Independently, they said, you go, you talk with the people, you come back.
Which city did you visit?
Oh, we visit many. We visit Shanghai, we visit Peking, we visit Xi'an, Wuhan, Hangzhou, and we visit like more than 10 hospitals, all
So
three.
that's in different
10
parts
days, 10
of
days
the
in all
country.
China. And what we observe is that there was starting a system, in some places more than in others. There was in China the great interest to work on that, and the great interest to learn about the new system. No?
Yes, the new system is absolutely welcomed, not only here in China, but also internationally. The
Yes.
question is, what about the demands? There has always been a huge deficit between what is needed and what are being offered. I mean, when it comes to numbers, take a look at this large disparity between the number of people who say they support organ donation and also the number of people who actually register to be a donor. This is very interesting human behavior. In the UK, for example, opinion polls suggest that 9 out of 10 people support organ donations, but fewer than 1 in 3 people are registered. So this is in the UK alone, but in China, people would probably see similar logics. As experts, how would you make of these kind of practices? Is there hope to encourage people to be donors, large number of them? Dr. Wang?
Yes, I think that's
That's
a
what you're
difference.
doing here in China every day, right?
Yes, but I think there's difference between people agreed for organ donation and the people who make the decision. A difference between the awareness and decision making, and also I think the most powerful force in the universe is convenience. Yes, people want to donate, but we must make it feasible for people to register as the volunteer for donor. And when it faces the death, actually they have different kind of the situation to make decision, and that rely on a very effective donation system. It's very complicated. It's a professional issues, and that's what we are working for. That is Professor Mati and other international society members are helping China to build on.
Professor Maya Lik, what are the key factors?
Let me explain about the information that you give about UK. It's true, but it's partially true, because one of 10 maybe is against donation. Only 1/3 in the registry. But how much, when they ask the people about donation at the time of death, also is different, because only 50% accepts. It's more than the people registry. See, the registry by itself is not a driving of the donation. The driving is when you or your relatives on one's die, the picture approaching, explaining what is the situation, that is the key point. And I tell another example. People from UK looking for the sun, they go to Spain for holidays, or they are retired. When these people die in Spain, they accept donation the same as a Spanish citizen, 85%. When they die in UK, they accept only 50.
You're coming from Spain, aren't you?
So I'm coming from Spain.
There's some
yes.
bias against the British people, I think. No,
No,
but jokes aside.
but just joking, because that happened also with the German people going that. But that means it's not only the registry, it's not the driving. There is a Eurostat registry. What is the opinion of the Spanish people around organ donation? And you know what is the result? 70% support in life in a survey. But at time of dying, they support more, really 85% than the survey. Because one is a survey, what is your opinion in life, or whatever, the population, but what is the time of dying, if you have to inform well the grieving, what is the situation, people understand.
But Dr. Wang, Professor Maya Lik is talking about the Europeans. Well, there may be very different culture and traditions inside the European countries, but in China, particularly in Asian countries, people believe in this afterlife and this and that, and maintain a whole body when the person passed away is extremely important according to some tradition. So you're not just fighting with, how can we encourage people to make that donation, but also some of the long-believed traditions.
Yes, I think first I need to point out that Spain is #1 in the world in terms of organ donation rate. They have the best system.
No wonder the president is coming from the country of Spain.
Yes, well,
there we go.
Yes, but
2 years only.
What Mati just said describe two things. Why people want to donate depend on the efficiency of donation system, and the second thing is most important, the trust on the system. So yes, people are thinking about Chinese culture have this traditional thinking, which is the barrier of organ donation. But the problem is we never ask people, and we never have a system to facilitate people to honor people's wish if they want to donate. So we just started.
Or to let them observe the transparency of the system so they can trust the system.
Exactly. That's we have the survey by the media that we have 44.7% actually agreed on organ donation, and 45 of them said no, and we want to know why they say no, because 60% of people who said no, they said we didn't trust the system.
Okay, if I could just make a comparison, blood donation in China has been a big issue also. There has been a big deficit, if not as big as organ donation, but certainly a big one in this country. Even if it is very convenient, you see the blood donation trucks everywhere in the big shopping malls in front of them and in the big cities everywhere. But still, there has such a big deficit between needs and provision. So the question is, will the donation system that you have just said, will the convenience you have just said, Dr. Wang, and also the trust you have just said, Dr. Wang, really likely to solve the problem for a country as big as 1.3 billion people?
Yes, I believe so, because that's the goal of WHO. It's a global goal of the professionals. We should achieve self-sufficiency, which means each country should have the ability to have donation system to supply to their people who need that. And that rely on the people's trust, and that trust need transparency. Also, we need to tell people's story. Yesterday, I met a donor family who herself is a doctor, and she told us how much she misses her husband. And everybody, the media, the reporters, the professional, burst into tears. That is very powerful to let people to think about the value of life. The organ donation is about death. But when you're talking about death, which is taboo of Chinese society, people start thinking about the value of the life. So that's something is positive for this society.
Well, certainly awareness and also campaign could help with the job, but international cooperation, Professor Mayalik, I know it's difficult because every country has their own deficit. Is it going to happen, really?
The thing is that international cooperation with China is easier if you accept the culture and you want to become a friend, because it's a country who wants to hearing, to listen, and to do. Coming back to the discussion you was with Haibo Wang, the countries in the world who have a system have a donors. China was not donors 10 years ago because there was not a system. When China implemented a system, it starts to be a donors. Let me explain my particular experience in some regions here in this country. I've been in the region of Kunming or Nanning.
In southwest part of China?
Well, we have been in the hospitals with the professionals. These people also have visited us and shared time. And when they implement at the hospital level, at the intensive care where the people die, the similar system, what you question, family understand that the body is death. Family understand and realize that after death, to help the others is a positive thing. And then if you look at the figures, it's one of the more advanced provinces in the territory, probably because they are more isolated, whatever, is more easier for them than a large city like Beijing or Shanghai, that they will come later, probably.
Well, as both of you just said, first day of 2015 last year, it's only the start of the new system. We're less than 2 years from the very beginning. It's going to be a brand new beginning. We hope it's going to be a beginning that would earn trust of the public and therefore a good beginning of a grand system.